Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Aurashire. And today I wanted to actually talk about my philosophy on social media as a artist and just kind of my decades long experience on social media as an artist and what I've learned, what mistakes I wouldn't make again, and just kind of go through my kind of plan for what I want to do this year as well on social media. So, to begin, I've been on the Instagrams, the TikToks, I've been on the Tumblrs, I've been on that stuff for at least over a decade. So I've definitely had my ups and downs in learning how I wanted to brand myself as an artist. I've been more consistent some other times than others, and I've had times where I just have gone cold turkey. I currently have gone cold turkey on my TikTok and my Instagram and Tumblr to some extent. I kind of pop in and out on Tumblr, but I haven't really been up there as much, but I do plan on changing that soon. But outside of that, I feel like as an artist, it's really hard to keep up with so many different platforms and trying to appeal to so many people on so many different platforms. So my first bit of advice, philosophy, and or maybe a mistake I think some new artists try and make is trying to be on everything. Now, I personally think of this: be on your favorite platform. If you know your strong suit is suited more towards short form content, TikTok might be a better platform for you. Now, I personally think everybody should at least have a YouTube channel because you can kind of do everything. And I also think the opportunities for monetization is much, much higher on a YouTube and much more consistent on a YouTube than I think any other platform. But if you know that you excel at a certain type of content, stick with that on that platform. If you take more photos and you don't really have ideas for short form content like video, just stick to like an Instagram. That's, I think, perfectly valid. Like, don't stretch yourself thin trying to be everywhere if you don't have to be. And so I think a lot of artists' first mistake is trying to gather all these different platforms and try and be on everything and try and make content for everything. Don't do that. I have literally gotten to a point in my life where I have said, I'm only going to focus on YouTube. I'm only going to maybe focus on TikTok, I might only focus on Instagram, etc., blah, blah, blah. So don't feel like you got to be pressured to do everything. I'm not on everything. I'm not on Twitter, for example. I don't have any sort of Twitter. But I'll explain my blogging platform in a second. But I just found myself never liking Twitter. I never engaged with, or X, sorry, X. I found myself never liking X. I never really engaged. I never really understood how to grow on it. I just never liked it. So I just kind of gave up on it. And I think that's perfectly valid. The next mistake I think a lot of creators try and do is that they try and do too many different things. Like, there's no through line with the content that you're making or the work that you're making. You want to share everything that you are interested in. I have made this mistake plenty of times. I even made mistakes on this channel trying to do too many different things and make too many different types of content. I can speak. Too many different types of content, and ultimately it just clutters the channel. Like, for example, I like making songs and music. I like to sing. That's a new little hobby I found out I liked, and I was putting it on this specific channel for a long time, and I found that that was just cluttering everything and not really nurturing the audience that I've already built, which was animation related content. That was the audience I had built on this channel, and I wasn't nurturing that audience by trying to do so many different things that I like. And us artists, we love to try different things. Some of us are a little more specific to a particular craft than others, but I know for some of us multidisciplinary artists, we just love to have so many different crafts and so many different ideas and so many different things. And I personally will say this: if you have to make a second channel, if you have so many things you want to do but you don't want to give it up, please make a second channel. Just at least have another one on reserve. You might not have to work on it right then and there, but just make a second channel so when you're ready to actually engage in doing something with that channel, it's there for you. You have the name set up, you have the handle set up. You don't have to worry about trying to scramble to set everything up. When you're ready, you're already ready. So please save those things for a second channel so you're not cluttering up your first one. Really find your niche. And what I mean by find your niche is not like pigeonhole yourself. Find like 3 different ways you can talk about one topic and not just pigeonhole yourself. Like, if you're like, you like crafting or something along those lines. Like, let's say you like crafts. You know, if you can talk about knitting, you could talk about crochet, you could talk about needle felt. That's all crafts. You know what I'm saying? So it can keep you fresh without getting pigeonholed into completely one thing. So find different ways to not pigeonhole yourself and get stuck in one thing. That's the second mistake I see a lot of people make, and that's a mistake I've made in my, lifetime on social media. The third mistake, and I think this is just the nature of how life is going, is try and be as consistent as possible. And now I'm a hypocrite for saying this. I have not been the most consistent, and I'm really trying to make an effort to be consistent this year. But if you have to, pick one platform and be very consistent on that platform. Do not feel like, oh my God, I got to balance everything and I can't really focus on one. Focus on one. I'm telling you, I have not focused on Instagram. I have not focused on TikTok. I have not focused on Tumblr. I have literally just been focusing on YouTube. And it has been so much easier for me to just prioritize one thing. So build one platform. If it is the easiest way, if it's Twitter, great, or X. If it's that platform, great. Just build that platform. Just post there. I suggest weekly if possible. I'm trying to do a weekly schedule, and even that's sometimes difficult for me. But try and do weekly if you can. I don't suggest doing a daily challenge. Trust me, I've tried to do daily challenges and they never work out for me. I never last the length I'm supposed to. So don't worry about doing daily challenges. If you're gonna do daily challenges, my personal suggestion, have stuff planned out ahead of time. So have at least 5 videos already ready to go. Don't try and do it every day. It's hard. And if you work a full-time job, you're gonna struggle. So always plan ahead if you can. If you're gonna do a daily challenge, just have the content ready to go. So all you have to do is schedule it or press post, and you can keep consistent that way. So yeah, don't try and do daily. Do weekly if possible. But yeah, don't try and fall off the wagon, is the best way I could say. Really try and stay consistent if humanly possible. So those are like 3 mistakes that I usually see a lot of young new artists make, and that I can tell you I've made in the past too. Now, with my content schedule and my social media schedule, my thing with social media is this. I always think of this kind of layout when I think of my social media as an artist. I think you should always have some sort of photo sharing platform, which I personally think is Instagram, and it could be X as well. I think X is perfectly fine. X, Twitter, Instagram, those kind of blogging / photo sharing websites or social medias. I like to have at least one of those on hand. I think short form content is one of those funky ones. You could do a TikTok, and like I said, if you really feel like TikTok short form content is good for you, then yes, just have a TikTok. I think you should have some sort of photo sharing thing, and it could be TikTok, it could be YouTube. Me personally, I feel like YouTube just offers a lot more broad range of things I can do. Like I can do a lot more longer form content as opposed to a TikTok. So I don't really worry about TikTok. I worry about YouTube. But like I said, you gotta work with what's good for you. But if you want to add another platform that allows you to do longer content, have a photo sharing app or social media like an Instagram, or you can use X, or you can use Tumblr. Have yourself a video sharing platform, and you can split it up between more short form like a TikTok. You can have a TikTok, and then you can have a YouTube as your longer form content. Or if you know you're not going to be able to balance the two, just focus on a YouTube or focus on a TikTok. Don't try and do both if you know you don't have the capacity for both. It's okay. You don't have to be everywhere. It's hard. And then my last kind of thing, and this is kind of mixing into the photo sharing, but I think this is also important. Have like a blogging app, and that could be your own blog. It doesn't have to be necessarily an X or a Tumblr. You can literally just build your own blog from scratch, which I highly suggest because you control that. But it is a little more expensive. You're definitely going to have to pay for that. So just be mindful that it might be a more costly option as opposed to a Tumblr or an X. If you know which platform you like more, go with that platform. Don't worry about the other one unless you know you have the capacity to make the content for both. Me personally, I'm a Tumblr girly. I've always been a Tumblr girly. I know I'm that kind of weirdo person, but Tumblr is my favorite platform for blogging, and that is the platform I have chosen. So to recap, my kind of schedule and my social media plan for 2026 is I'm going to be using specifically Instagram as my photo sharing, TikTok as short form, but that's going to be down the road. So YouTube, Instagram, and then Tumblr as my blogging app. Another thing you can add to that list is a shop of some sort. Any sort of place where you're selling your items could be a fourth kind of social media. So you can always add that in if possible. Patreon's also another way you can make money. I don't have a Patreon currently personally, so I can't speak on Patreon, to be honest with you. I haven't never had a reason to have a Patreon. I don't feel comfortable asking for money knowing I can't upkeep on a Patreon. So I don't have one, so I can't speak on that. But if you already have like a Patreon and you're making that work, obviously keep that. If you have a shop, keep that. So work with whatever you're working with, but have that. I think that's always a good fourth option, is to have some way to maybe make a little income if you know you're selling products as well. So that's kind of my like little spiel on my philosophy for social media. Just be kind of mindful of how you're branding yourself. And what I mean is that just know what you want to talk about. You know, really come on to your platform and really have something to say. And it's okay if you have to start somewhere and talk about a topic for a little while somewhere to be able to elevate to other places. Because I'm learning, and I'm still learning, even doing this. Trying to do everything isn't going to work. Trying to be everywhere isn't going to work. So don't force yourself to try and be everywhere. I think we as artists get so pressured into trying to be everywhere. And it's just hard. So don't feel pressure to be everywhere. Don't try to be as consistent as possible if you can. And try to just have fun. I have made this fun for me as a kind of full-time, not really able to focus on YouTube person. And even this is sometimes hard for me, but I want to make sure that I'm showing up for you guys as a creator. So hopefully that was enjoyable for you guys. Hopefully that was knowledgeable a little bit and helped you guys. I just wanted to offer my little 2 cents and hopefully make you guys feel a little more comfortable on not being worried about trying to be perfect on everything. It's just hard. So good luck out there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Please tell me in the comments what you think of it and any other ideas you want me to talk about off the cuff, or if you want me to do some research on anything, I'm happy to do that. But thank you guys again so much for watching, and see you guys in the next one.